Hey everyone, it's Johnny, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about some Scentsy Empties, and I brought my cold brew coffee because we are going to be doing this morning rather than in an evening when I usually like to record my videos because busy day, lots of work today, all the adventures. So, this will be a shorter empties for Scentsy because I didn't warm through as many, admittedly, Scentsy bars this time because I was trying to get through some vendor wax. I will have a couple more fragrance feedbacks. Maybe I should come up with a different name. That's kind of a tongue twister. Which will have both a vendor wax section, and then I'll also do a retail wax fragrance feedback. Just because I had so many and I haven't gotten a chance to review them all, it'll just make more sense that way. So, without further ado, let's go through the Scentsy stuff that I've taken care of this time. So I got through a tub of the Shimmer Washer Whiffs. This is no longer available, and it's sad because the more I've used the shimmer fragrance in laundry, the more I wish I had more of it. Because I've tried a couple different ones now, and I really enjoy the fragrance of this. It's not quite as in your face and obnoxious, in my opinion, as Pink Cotton is. It's more of a subtle berry, it doesn't quite come out as perfumey necessarily, but it's a really nice scent for clothes, especially. I don't know about towels and sheets, maybe that's a little bit, I want something a little bit more fresher, like aloe water and cucumber or something, but for at least clothes, this is bomb.com, and I'm kind of sad that it's gone now. So, long story short, I should have stocked up when I had the chance. And I also got through the laundry liquid with that as well. So, if you've not tried our laundry liquid, it is a concentrated formula. In terms of cleaning power, I think it performs just fine. If you're going to compare it to Tide or Gain or one of the other big brands that we think of when we go and think of laundry detergent, I think it stands up to those. I don't necessarily know that this is maybe more magical or has some mystery proprietary blend that makes this so much more better than maybe Tide or All or one of the other ones. I think they'd all do a great job for what they do. They clean your clothes. One thing I do like about this is that it does not have any dyes in it, or colorants. So if you think of something like Tide Free and Clear, the only difference would be that we have fragrance, whereas they do not, per se. So that is one thing that I do appreciate. And our formulas, to my knowledge, are made in the US. So that is something, our consumables, I should say, are made in our headquarter area and distributed rather than overseas. So a couple nice little perks of getting our particular laundry stuff. All right, let's see. I got through Dish Soap and Cider Mill. This is a great scent. I love this scent. A lot of people describe this as apples and pumpkins. And in dish soap, in counter clean, in anything that's not wax, I get apples and pumpkins. But the second I warm this and in wax form, I can't stand it. It's cidery or spicy, or I don't get any of the apples and pumpkins. I don't know what it is. Maybe my warmers just like to torment me. But for me to really appreciate this particular fragrance from Scentsy, I have to have it in counter clean or dish soap or something like that. And in those forms, I absolutely love it. It's like cleaning your dishes with fall. All right. Next, we have Aloe Water and Cucumber in Counter Clean. I love this. This is a great, clean, fresh scent. I tend to prefer Aloe Water and Cucumber for bathroom cleaning products, or the laundry liquid when I'm using it for towels or bedding sometimes, because it gives you that fresh sort of clean, or gym clothes. Oh my god, this is great for if you have a ton of gym clothes that are not smelling so great. It's nice when your gym clothes come out smelling kind of fresh and kind of spa-esque. For regular clothes, I'm not particularly wild about this as the scent that I associate, but definitely towels, gym stuff, and maybe like sheets or whatever. But I also like it for cleaning bathrooms. It smells fantastic and it leaves your bathroom kind of smelling like a spa. And this is another one of our fragrances where I love it in laundry liquid. I love it in counter clean. I even don't really mind it in the fragrance flower or the room spray. But the second I warm this in wax form, I don't know what it is, but the scent mixed with warm just does not smell good to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like it smells like a humid room all of a sudden, and that's probably why I don't like it. I don't know. But anyways, long story short, counter clean's great. And I also use it to clean off my dry erase boards when, you know, like you get like really obnoxious ghosting and stuff on there. Pretty helpful for that. All right. And now I have some wax. Let's go through some wax. I got through a bar of Cozy Cookie. This is an older scent. And I think it's like cinnamon and butter and whatever else makes up a cookie dough. It smells like a cookie, a nondescript cookie. You do get a bit of the cinnamon. You do maybe get a, I don't know if it's like nutmeg or allspice. Just like a subtle hint of something that's more than just cinnamon. It doesn't quite give me like snickerdoodle vibes for having cinnamon in it. It just smells like the generic kind of like cookie-esque scent. Like if you've smelled cookies from Santa for Better Homes from Better Homes and Gardens, it's a similar sort of vibe. Like it's cookies, and then, but you don't really know what type of cookies. It's just like someone's baking cookies in the house. It's nice. It's nice. I wouldn't go out of my way to hunt it down on eBay or in like something like that, but I appreciated warming it once. All right, next we have Forever Yours. This is an old one as well. This, oh my goodness, this needs to come back. I don't know if this is coming back in our January Bring Back My Bar, but it needs to come back soon. This is basically jasmine and lemon. And it's not like squeeze the day lemon. It's more of like a perfume sort of vibe. Lemon meets jasmine. And I don't know what it is. I think the lemon kind of like cuts through the traditional notorious jasmine slight powdery note. I love jasmine. Don't get me wrong. I love fresh jasmine though, because in my neighborhood, there are a lot of jasmine bushes, plants that, especially in the summer or whatnot, when you kind of like get the breeze wafting through, you get like wafts of fresh jasmine, and it is divine. It's probably why I'm obsessed with jasmine. Also because I'm Aladdin secretly. Just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding on that. Maybe I am Aladdin secretly. Disney, you're supposed to cast me, not the other guy. Anyway, so this is a fantastic scent. I hope it comes back. It is kind of perfumey, slightly romantic, but definitely jasmine and lemons, and it lives up to that. And it's not a futsy-dutsy, like, disappears in a couple hours. It lasts all day, and then some. I think I actually warmed this for a couple days in a row with no problem, leaving my warmers on from morning until I go to bed, and again. So, can't say enough good things about that. But if you don't like jasmine, you probably won't enjoy it. Or lemon. Got through Arctic Kiss. This one is like melon and whipped vanilla clouds and some other shenanigans. And probably some mint in there too. So I don't mind the scent. And actually, when I warmed this, it had been a long time since I last warmed it. And so when I warmed it, I was like, oh, this is a nice change. It's refreshing. I get the notes. It's like that sort of like aquatic, dewy, you know, in between seasons, snow is melting, whatever, sort of scent. Almost like late winter, just the beginning of spring rather than the other way around. But it still gives me like, it still gives me like, I don't know, dentist, office, like toothpaste, toilet bowl cleaner. Like, I don't know what to say. There's like something about it. I don't know if it's like the melon note or whatever is in here. Something about it is just slightly off-putting for me. So I can enjoy it once in a blue moon, but as terms of like, do I need it in my life all the time? Absolutely not. And I still believe I have a few more bars of this from when it was the scent of the month that I am trying to get through, but I'm trying to get through them, you know, sparingly so that I don't, like, think my whole apartment smells like a bathroom or a dentist's office or a toothpaste tube. All right, moving on. Next we have, oh, the Muppets. That's one, I believe it's still out right now. This is, I think it's like melon and like berries or cherries and like orange or something like that. It's a very fruity scent. It's like cherry, you do get the cherries, you do get the orange, and you do very much get like a honeydew melon. And I believe the wax is green. You can't really see because it's empty, but it was green, I promise. It's okay. Like, I've smelled something like this before. I can't quite place my hand on it. My hand on it? My nose on it? My finger. That's what it is. I can't place my finger on it. Whatever. Anyways, I can't figure it out for the life of me, but it smells very similar to something else we have. It almost kind of gives me a slight, like, Oogie Boogie's Roll of the Dice vibe, minus, like, the sage and balsam woodsy sort of thing going on. We also had another one that was, like, melony like this. Haha, Melanie. She is not part of this bar. Yeah, it's just okay. It's a kind of fruity scent. You do get the orange, you do get the cherry, mainly honeydew though. So if you're not a big melon person, you probably may want to avoid this one. All right, next we have, I got through this bar, Dark Side of the Forest. This is like a ride or die bar for me. This is in my club. It will never leave my club. If clubs stop happening, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is like, oh my gosh, I forgot what the type of wood it is, but it's like a deep wood note. It's ginger. It's very masculine, very cologne vibes with hint of wood. It's not a wham bam knock you out of the park in your face sort of scent like Clothesline would be, but it's definitely strong. More on like the medium vein of that, but it's consistent. That's the thing that I will say about it. Where some of our other scents may start out really strong and then they teeter out. This one generally through its warming stays very consistent from start to finish, and it's a long lasting scent. It may not be a scent monster, but it does last a long, long, long time. And that's one of the things that I will say about our Star Wars 3 bars that we've had so far. I won't say that any of them are necessarily scent monsters. Maybe Light Side of the Force. But they're all kind of like medium, strong performers. But they all last forever and ever and ever. Whatever the combination is on all of them, they really, you get your money's worth on them. I'll say that much. Anyways, I got through this. I love it. And that's all there is to it. I got through a bar of Crisp Orchard Air. This is an old Bring Back My Bar, and I really like this one. You do get kind of like a slightly perfumey note to this. You do get apples. They're not like fresh, juicy Johnny Appleseed apples. They're more like simmered apples or baked apples or something, but they're not like heavily cinnamon apples. It's apples that are kind of baked, and then you have like that fresh sort of ozone-y note. Not quite to the same sort of level as something like Atlantic Air, or if you have smelled Sensational's Autumn Air, I think it's called, Fresh Autumn Air. Anyways, it's nothing like that. It has a little bit more of a muted, almost musky tone to it. But it's nice. It's almost like borderline like a romantic-y, perfumey sort of apple scent. Which is actually quite nice and refreshing because it's not a juicy fresh pear and it's not like an apples and cinnamon combination that's been overdone until like oblivion. This is one that if this came back I would put in my club because it's more of a unique apple scent that I've really not seen done very much of. You know, usually you get like the apple spice, apple cinnamon, apple, and whatever heavy cider scent, and or you get like juicy apples or mouth-watering apples, or a bite into the apple and it squirts you in the face with apple juice apples. And this is very much like something different from those. So I love it. I do hope it comes back at some point. Just a nice overall scent. Got it through a bar of honey pear cider. I think this was in clearance. I picked up another bar to see how I felt about it. And it is what it is. It's a sweet pear cider. You do get the honey note. The honey is more predominant than the pear. Pear just kind of gives it like an aquatic sort of more juicy vibe, if you will, as opposed to being like dominantly pear, at least to me. And you get the cider notes. This is another one where as it mellows out and you get rid of the sweetness of the pear or the honey, the cider just kind of just becomes a cider. And then by then I'm like, I don't want this in my life anymore. I like this scent. It's not something that would be a staple of mine, but it's nice, and it is a change from the traditional apple cider scents that are out there. All right, next we got through a bar of Cashmere and Corduroy. This is in my club, and I love it. So this is like, I think they described it as like cashmere and I want to say corduroy, haha, duh, and bergamot. I think there's bergamot in here. And when I first smelled this, I was like, oh no, that bergamot's gonna cause problems. It's gonna be limey, and I'm not gonna like it. And I have to say, the bergamot does not become like lime central or citrus central. It actually elevates and freshens up an otherwise potentially really heavy scent. And I think if it didn't have the bergamot there to kind of counteract like the coziness and the cashmere and the musk and all that sort of stuff, it would be a very heavy scent, like Scentsy's Cashmere, which is almost too heavy even for my tastes of cozy. Yeah, this is, it brings like a freshness to this, which makes you like, oh, it's cozy, rather than, oh my gosh, it's musty and this is in a house that hasn't been like vacuumed for 20 years, which is what I feel like Scentsy's Cashmere scent was. It's just overwhelmingly too much. So I really love this. It's great. It performs well. It's a scent monster from what I remember, and it's in my club. Next we have Eucalyptus Wreath. This is also in our catalog. I didn't think I was going to like this because I'm not huge on eucalyptus scents. I don't mind them, but I don't usually go like out of my way to find eucalyptus scents. This one is really good. This is a great mix of eucalyptus and, well, wreath. Green scent, not quite super like sprucey pine, cedar, fir, like crazy green tree sort of concept. It's more like eucalyptus meets winter trees with a freshness to it. And it's a great combination. It makes it so that the eucalyptus isn't like stinging in your nose and like ripping out your nose hairs, and it's also not so green tree that you're like gasping for air like I'm being strangled by the pine forest or the balsam forest. It's like, it's a nice blend. And the fresh quality to it makes it something that you could potentially warm for more than just the winter season. I could see this in spring. I could even see this in late fall. Honestly, I could maybe even see this in summer as kind of like a zen, like if you think of like, what is it, Sensational's Inner Zen, which is like a minty scent, or I want to say Zen, but I feel like that's not the one I'm thinking of. But they're like that sort of like almost meditative, relaxing, fresh scent. This could work great even year round for that if you're looking for it. All right, next I got through With Grace from the Glamorous collection. And this reminds me of a more spring light version of Cozy Cardigan. If Cozy Cardigan's like the fall winter variant, this is like the spring summer variant. So this is a little bit more floral, a little less cashmere musk. I think it's like supposed to be like lush gardenias and rose and something else and whatever else. I usually hate gardenia smells. Full disclosure, I'm just not a fan. Like, they're just like super powdery to me and somewhat soapy. In this one, I was a little leery when it said like, oh, gardenia, and I was like, oh great, I'm gonna hate this scent. I love this scent. It's in my club, it's staying there. this to me is a spring summer version of cozy cardigan, and I strongly recommend, if you like cozy cardigan, it might be worth trying this one because it's similar. You get that sort of rose, soft rose note. You get like a musk instead of necessarily suede, and instead of like that almost like cashmere sort of cardigan note, you have like that soft gardenia, but it's again, it's a softer one. It's not like lush gardenia where you're just being like bombasted by gardenias until, you know, you fall over in delirium. Anyways, that's with grace. Now let's talk about a couple of the holiday collection. I didn't get through all three. I haven't gotten through, I think it's Mighty Pine yet, but I did get through Mulled Cider and Spice. This one, I almost wanted to hurl when I smelled it on cold. Still not a huge fan of it, but I will say warming this is actually tolerable. I think it's like juicy blood orange, which usually I don't have a problem with, and then a bunch of spices and cider. And we know how spices and cider and Johnny work. They don't. I will say you get more of the fruitiness of this when it's warmed. It does take on more of a personality, if you will. You get more of like the orange and that sort of stuff. And you actually get, I feel like, a better combination of the spices when they're warmed. Now, again, I am not a big spice heavy person, so for me, this is not really like my wheelhouse. But warmed, it does smell like a warm, hot, like brew of mulled cider that you might have like on the stove top. That's kind of aromatizing the house. You know, it does live up to its moniker, and it's a scent monster. Oh my God, this is a powerhouse. Not gonna be in my club. Don't need to get another bar of it. Very content with warming this one bar and being done with it. But if you like that sort of mulled cider spice vibe, if you're big on the spice category, it might be something worth trying. If you like blood orange, you know, versus a regular citrus orange. All right, and then I got through the last one here is Joy and Wonder. This is also from our holiday 3-pack collection. And this one is like blackcurrant, deep raspberry or something like that. And I think there's also cinnamon. Now this one I actually really like, and I'm torn between putting it in my club for a little while or not. I don't usually like cinnamon scents, but you don't get a whole lot of cinnamon in this. You actually get more of like the currant black raspberry or deep raspberry, whatever it is, mix. And I think it's the raspberry that really sets this out. Now, the currant mixed with the raspberry, to me, this gives me more of a slight cologne vibe or a more masculine undertone to it. It's a deep, rich scent. It's not... You think raspberry, a lot of times we think like bright, summery, fruity. This is very deep and heavy and low tone, fruity sort of scent. You know, it's definitely there. It's definitely quite strong, but it gives you almost that sort of, like I mentioned, the masculine, almost cologne vibes in the space that you're warming it. And then just that little pinch of cinnamon kind of uplifts the otherwise almost overwhelming, like, I don't know how to call it, like, density of the scent, if that makes any sense. It does feel like a heavy scent. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh my gosh, this room feels so heavy and gross in here. But it is a deeper scent, so just be aware of that. It's not going to be like light and bouncy and effervescent and all that sort of stuff. It's very much like, hey, how's it going? I'm Batman. But not really, because Batman is not about joy or wonder. Anyways, unless you're talking about Wonder Woman, maybe, you know, that's the thing. But anyways, so that's what we have for the Scentsy Worm Empties, worm reviews. Like I said, I didn't get through as many as I normally do for the Scentsy side of things, but I do have a couple more parts to this. It'll be a 3-part fragrance feedback. Just so that I can kind of segue and break up all of the, and this bar, and this bar, and this bar sort of part of it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've tried any of these scents, and as always, thank you for watching this video, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel. Take care, guys. Bye!